On April 20th, 2018, my entire life changed. I used to be 80 pounds overweight. I used to be in pain all the time. Joint pain that stopped me from enjoying my life and hindered me playing with my daughter. And I'm a little bit stubborn, so I would push through the pain, but I honestly don't think that my daughter got the best version of me until she was like 13 years old. And that breaks my heart, Wellness Warrior. You don't even understand how it breaks my heart, especially today. Now that I know being overweight wasn't my fault. And I know that because I've been at goal weight now for the last 7 years. I was doing all the right things according to doctors and nutritionists, like you probably are. And my pain didn't stop, and my weight was actually rising. For 2/3 of my daughter's life and 23 years of my own, wow, that's a long time, I was in pain. Now, I only figured this out and was able to fix it because I stumbled onto the answer. Right? I figured out why I was in joint pain. I figured out why I was obese. And I'm going to share with you what I've learned that helped me to lose weight and get my life back. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer the biggest question that I get. I get this question more than what do I eat in a day? I'm going to share with you the critical thinking flaw that stops us from losing weight and maintaining those results, because that's the question that I get the most. How do you lose weight and keep it off? Okay, so 7 years ago, I started eating a keto diet because I learned that sugar was causing my joint pain and causing my obesity. I had always known that sugar was like a problem and causes us to gain weight, but I thought it was only the sugar in junk food. But in February of 2018, I learned that all sugar, even the sugar in fruit, even the sugar in rice, even the sugar in healthy vegetables like, spinach, all sugars was messing with my body. First of all, I want to admit to you very candidly that I felt stupid as hell when I read that article. I majored in, so I have a bachelor's in science. I knew that sugar and carbohydrates are two words for the very same stuff. And somehow, I don't know why I wasn't letting myself understand that then all sugar would impact my weight. Because of that article, I ended up finding the doctors who were online talking about how sugar impacts our body and causes what they were calling insulin resistance. So basically, our body stopped reacting to insulin. And this made sense to me because in the work that I do, helping people to, with alcohol problems and stuff like that, the same mechanism is at work when you're become out of control with alcohol, right? So I knew about this mechanism, and having it explained the connection with sugar made total sense to me. So despite the fact that everything made total sense, I only began eating a keto diet in April. So on April 20th, 2018. Now, I wish that I could say that it took me a month and a half to find keto, but that's not the reason that there was a delay between when I learned sugar was messing with me and when I started keto. When I found the keto diet, it was because I was trying to figure out, well, how do I get all the sugar out of my life? Because vegetables, right? And then I found keto. But then when I found keto, I was like, well, what exactly is keto? So I had to do research about what it is, what foods would allow me to eat this way. There was a lot of research to do on the diet, on the food, and why keto helps with inflammation. Because in my mind, I was like, you're still eating carbohydrates. So I spent a few weeks trying to wrap my brain around the diet, why it works, and how to do it. I want to pause right here, Wellness Warrior, and help the people who are finding me for the first time to understand. So I'm Violet, and my channel is about how you do keto and carnivore and have good health so you can live your life properly. And when I found the keto diet, I was in pain. My hip was inflamed. I could barely walk. I was in pain 24/7. And doctors had thrown the idea of hip surgery around by the time that I found this diet. And still, I did all of this research before I started eating a keto lifestyle. Excruciating pain, wellness warrior. And I was doing research. That's how backwards this diet seemed to me. Even though I totally understood the idea that sugar is causing my problem, I couldn't wrap my mind around how would I not eat vegetables or rice, right? Like, how would I not eat potatoes? So I worked out my recipes and I went grocery shopping. And so between the beginning of February and April 20th, 2018, that was a Friday, I had my first keto meal. And I haven't looked back at all. So keto helped me to heal my hip in just 3 months. By July of 2018, I went on vacation with my family and I was running around and I was living my life. No longer needing to take a break from like walking, which is like dumb to have to take a break from, but I used to have to take a break from walking. No longer taking 2, 3 days to recuperate from doing activities like climbing or bike riding or longboarding or all the things that I do with the kids. I was able to just be on vacation and be on vacation. And then fast forward to 5 months after starting keto, I was at goal weight. And wellness warrior, I've been at this weight ever since. Keto works. And I have a bunch of videos that you can watch where I talk about how to do keto, and I'll link those in the description. But keto works. This is not what this video is about. What I really want to share with you today is the mindset shift that I made at the very beginning that helped me to achieve my goal of getting my body back without pain, so being pain-free, and living my life at a healthy weight. We've been taught to see life as a series of goals and that we need to achieve these goals in order, right? Like it makes life seem linear from one goal to the next goal to the next goal. But in fact, life is actually happening in multiple parallels. So I wanted you to think about this like a house. Even though you're in the kitchen, so I'm in the kitchen cooking supper, someone else could be in the living room watching TV, and someone else could be in the basement playing with the cat. And each of those scenarios are happening at the same time, impacting the entire house. And guess what, wellness warrior? That someone could actually be you. Yeah. So at the same time, I could be playing with my cat in my basement open concept apartment, making supper in the kitchen while watching TV in the living room, all at the same time. Life is constantly happening in parallel. When we think about our goals as linear, we miss the opportunities to advance our life. We aren't multitasking. And if we aren't multitasking, then things that we should be paying attention to get left aside because we're focused on something else. I need us to understand that we've been taught to do this, right? You finish high school before you go to university, obviously, and then you finish university before you get a job, and you find a good job before you get that mate and start that family. And there's this order of events that we try to keep in order. And for sure, some people do things out of order, but you'll notice that we'll say, well, they're doing it out of order. I want us to understand where when we look at people who are successful, very often they did things out of order. Like, think about musicians. Musicians often have been playing music since they were children. So their career started before they even finished high school. And what about people who come from families that have family businesses and worked in their family business? Again, a lot of them started working in the family business in high school. The truth is, Success is about taking advantage of the opportunities that present themselves when they present themselves, Wellness Warrior. In the diet world, sometimes people tell me that they need to get their mind around X and therefore do not have time to invest energy and attention into Y. So, a good example of this would be the multitude of people who express not tracking because insert whatever you're doing that's good for you to do, like investing in understanding the keto diet, for example, or finding recipes, or sourcing better quality food, even getting your labs done. These are all valid things that you could do alongside of tracking. They're important things to do alongside of tracking. Do the things in parallel. We need to see that all of the pieces of the puzzle are important. And we also need to see that delaying the start of things sometimes impacts the very good thing you're researching and trying to learn how to do. If I had tracked from the very, very, very beginning, so I'll use myself as the example, I would have been even further ahead. So it only took me 3 months to get pain free. But had I actually been tracking from day one, that could have been even faster because I was still ingesting way too much carbohydrate. I just didn't know. I could have lost weight and been at goal weight even sooner because, again, I was ingesting too much carbohydrate. I just didn't know. What I'm trying to get you to see is that I could be learning how to do keto while I'm learning how to cook recipes, while I'm learning what it feels like to be satiated, while I'm learning what it feels like to be hungry, maybe for the first time ever in my life, while I'm learning why certain foods are unhealthy, while I'm learning that meat is actually the only thing I ever need to eat. I want you to keep in mind that life doesn't stop while you're learning to do something, Wellness Warrior. And that means that if one of these diet goals that I'm trying to accomplish is too scary for me, but I'm doing all my stuff in order, then I might actually pause everything I'm trying to accomplish. I won't be moving forward because I'm not tackling that goal and I'm doing things in an order that I think I need to do. So that one goal then stops my progress. How would your life look different? And maybe even better if you actually were attacking things, so all the goals that you have access to simultaneously. And I'm not talking about doing it in a way that I'm overwhelmed. Obviously, if I'm making mistakes on something, I will give a little more attention to this thing. But I want you to understand, Wellness Warrior, that it's rare that we ever live in one room of our house. So even if I'm cleaning the bathroom, I still need to go and cook at some point. So I will leave the bathroom to go cook. And I'm cleaning up the kitchen. But if someone rings the doorbell, I'm going to go to the front door. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to give extra attention to the rooms that need the attention. Parallel. I want us to start thinking about how can I still give attention to these other things because every room has a different function. So we're going to go to the kitchen when we need to, and we're going to go to the bathroom when we need to, and we're going to go to the living room when we need to. I'm encouraging you to think about your diet goals the same way. You're going to think about recipes, for example, when you need to. You'll think about the quality of the food you're purchasing when you need to. And you're going to think about eating food when you're hungry. That means when you need to, right? Because life is always happening. Therefore, your goals are always happening. And therefore, you need to pay attention to all of them when it's appropriate to pay attention to them. And your body's going to let you know when you need to pay attention to these things. Wellness Warrior, this is not about perfection. This is about change. And things can only change when you change them. You're here because you want your health and weight to change. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this mindset? How can these ideas help you to lose weight? Let me know in the comment section. And as usual, I'll talk to you in this video about how to do keto after you've left your comment. The video is also linked, so I'm going to pin it in the top comment of the comment section. So you can click on that link and I'll meet you over there.